cotton is our traditional batting, especially here in the United States. And it's been used for years and years and years. And we can get even more beautiful cotton battings now, but it's kind of a forgotten thing. You know, we make beautiful tops and we find these cool backs and then we stuff whatever batting we can find in it. So I'm gonna do a little series over the next few months on battings and maybe it will help you make more informed choices. So tonight is cotton. So we are going to talk about, I'm gonna use Hobbs as an example. I love the Hobbs battings. I use them a lot, but there are other great battings companies out there. I have used some other products, but I haven't used all of their products. And I think I've pretty much used all of Hobbs. So I'm going to use those. But if you're out shopping, just look for the information I'm giving you. You don't necessarily have to find the exact batting. So let's talk about cotton. Unbleached cotton batting is probably what most people are most familiar with. It's not super thick, but sometimes you'll see little flecks in it and everything. It's very flexible. It's got a good drape to it. And then you can also get bleached, which is basically the same, has a little different texture, maybe a little bit fluffier. But bleached is very white. So if you are doing a very light colored quilt with a lot of white or a light, peach or something like that, or especially like a cool tone, like a blue, you don't want to have that yellow unbleached batting behind that because it will kind of yellow it and make it dingy looking. If you use the bleach batting behind those lighter quilts, I think you'll be a lot happier with your results. Another kind of batting that you can use is a batting that has a scrim behind it. And so a scrim is like a thin layer. Sometimes some companies kind of use a glue. I think Hobbs uses like a really fine layer of polyester, and it's punched down onto it, and it basically works as a stabilizer. Let me tell you why they would do that. With our bleached and our unbleached cottons, that you have to quilt them at least every 4 inches so that they don't shift around and ball up and make a big mess, okay? So you have to every 4 inches. But with scrim, you can go 8 to 10 inches. So if you're doing a quilt, you want to use cotton, maybe it's a sunbonnet Sue type of thing or something where you want to applique, or you want to go around the applique, you don't want to quilt over it. Maybe using a scrim would be a great idea because then you're not going to be concerned because your batting is actually stabilized. The other thing with those products is the shrinkage rate is about 4 to 6%. And you would want to take care. You're not going to wash those and dry them hot. You want to dry them on a cool, but they will hold up to washings. Hobbs has one other thing that it's called Tuscany Supreme, and it's a much thicker batting just made of cotton. Interestingly enough, more cotton means more shrinkage, I guess, because it actually has a 5 to 7% shrinkage rate. So if you're really going for the crinkle and you want a really thick quilt, that might be your option. So a couple of things to think about with cotton. It is a little bit delicate. You have to be really careful, especially if you're a long armor. You need to be careful when you're spreading it out that you don't stretch it because you can easily poke your thumbs through it or tear a hole in it, okay? It's delicate. Think about a cotton ball. So take care with it. If it's really wrinkled up, you can do a couple of, what I do is I either spritz a little tiny bit of water on it, I mean tiny, like 2 squirts on a whole quilt top, or I'll just put a damp cloth in with my batting and I put it in a cool dryer for maybe 5 minutes. And that tumbling and the air moving and that little bit of moisture will smooth those wrinkles right out. So just a little thing to think about. So give cotton batting a try. If you haven't tried it or you haven't tried it for a long time, battings have really improved over the years. These companies have figured out better ways to make battings that really look good. So give cotton a try. All right, next month we will be talking about an 80-20, so the 80% cotton and 20% polyester, and talking about how that makes a difference. All right, so come back next month and we'll talk about that.